So while you get counting those buttons, let us talk about a very interesting meeting that happened twice a month on Saturday mornings in our region. Who knows who has or maybe has participated in the European Trainers Network? If so, type yes in the chat if you've been part of this journey. So I'll give you a moment there, and also just recognizing Simonetta Roma, who's joined us. Great to see you there. Thank you. And Hannah Brela, thank you for your comment as well. And thank you, Olga, for your questions as we're going through. So do interact with us digitally. We'd love to see you there. So who of you has participated in the European Trainers Network is the question. So type a yes in the chat if you've attended one of their events. I saw on LinkedIn today, actually, they have an event coming up in March. So February's event has closed, but you might want to attend the one in March as well. So do type yes. Our leaders will see that. And before we call them to the stage behind this very initiative, we'd like to sort of find out what it's all about. So let's watch some testimonials of those who have participated thus far.
Try having a dolphin and a snake together in a company. Make your brain start working only Saturday morning. Perfect. So Claire, back to you. We can all enjoy our Saturday training.
How many of you consider yourselves to have a high level of resilience? Ooh, not everyone. Okay. This is the place to be then. This is the workshop for you.
And thank you for simply hosting the session in such a calm way, and nice way, and open, transparent way.
I like to use the AI companion response because it's a view. It's a view of what happened, and I like to say summarize the session, or how about the feedback. And one example, if you can you evaluate all the feedbacks in a scale and then say why you did it, and then I learned the point of view of the AI.
It's wonderful to be back here with everyone. It's not a Saturday without ETN.
I have been a Microsoft certified trainer before, and I'm actually working towards getting that again. So my training is of necessity going to be of a technical nature, but I do need to bring more of the human interest. Why should you care? Why should anyone care into it?
From a parent to a manager, need to explain things in ways that are easily understandable. So I know you were just saying we're going to have different people with different goals, wanting to be trainers, not wanting to be trainers.
Thank you very much. They are all valuable and supportive as well. So thank you very much. And that's why I love being here to test and learn. And thanks a lot, everyone, for your support.
I think it's just really cool. I love that you have reinvented the network. You know, when I think back to the early days of my being involved or knowing of this, you know, when we only ever met at District 59 conferences, and it was always about people helping people to improve and sharing ideas. And I love that you've kept to that, but in a different format, and being able to expand the network. I think that is a really cool thing, that you've kept that thing of, you know, members of the network are leading the sessions and bringing their ideas to share, to challenge us, to help us grow. And so I love that you're doing that. Thank you.
Wow, so that is the European Trainers Network, and we welcome Dorleta, Bill, and Norberto. What a powerful vision, and it is an honor to have you all with us tonight here on Region 10 Live News.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. Region 10, great, finally. Everybody involved.
From 59 I heard before, now you're going Region 10. Let's go global after that. So let me introduce you all, and then I'll hand it over to you. So the European Trainers Network is more than just a group. It is the gold standard for trainers in our region. For our districts looking to professionalize their training, let me introduce the leaders that you see here on screen tonight. Bill Monsour, DTM, is an award-winning speaker, trainer, actor, singer, dancer, and Toastmasters leader with over 20 years of club and district service. He founded multiple clubs, co-founded the European Trainers Network of Region 10, and coaches executives through his company Speaking Arts International in Amsterdam. And we have Dorleta Gonzales, the trainer of trainers, sales professionals, and executives. She's a high-performance communication coach and international keynote speaker. With magnetic energy and a warm, commanding presence, she sparks real transformation worldwide. She's been a Toastmaster for more than 16 years and an ETN member since 2013, where she serves as the executive meeting organizer. And to lead this high-level discussion, I'm going to now bring in those. We now see the man who lives and breathes communication excellence. Norberto Amaral is the District 107 Director, and in his professional world, he's a communication consultant, a speaker coach for top executives, and the lead organizer of TEDx Porto. He's also the author of the influential book Impacto, which teaches us exactly how to command a room. Norberto, as someone who helps ideas change the world through TEDx, you are the perfect person to lead this meeting of minds tonight with the ETN architects. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much. And I would like to now briefly interview both Bill and Dorleta about what this amazing thing is, the European Trainers Network. Now, first question, and it's actually for both of you. I'm not actually going to specifically direct this at one of you. What is this European Trainers Network exactly? And also, why did you get involved in it?
Dorleta, shall I go ahead? Yeah. When I was going to district conferences, we had them back when I joined in 2002, they were every 6 months. I traveled all over Europe, met so many wonderful people, enjoyed all the contests. And then I ran into Elizabeth Nosted. You know her, she was an international director. She was starting a training business, which I'd been running my own business already for 10 years. And she said, why don't we get other Toastmasters who are professional trainers or coaches to get together at these conferences and network with each other, run seminars, support each other, and also offer high quality support to the people, the Toastmasters who are volunteering as workshop leaders. We've been doing it now since 2006. I can't believe when I see those videos, and I remember Morag, how she joined us years ago, and think that we're still doing it. But of course, after 2020 with the Corona pandemic, we moved everything online, which in a way allowed us to expand beyond the local limitations. And now you have people from Romania, from Sweden, from Portugal, all over Europe joining us to give workshops online, join us for the speaker to trainer program, developing their training skills, which is, beyond being a speaker.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bill. What about for you, Dorleta?
Well, for me, actually, I wanted to be a trainer back in 2012, 13, something like that. And I joined the European Trainers Network. As time passed by, I became a trainer for trainers in the automotive industry. And since then, I had been a member, but really blew my mind during the pandemic in 2020. Bill, could you please mute yourself? It's a kind of an echo. In 2020, the whole company had to stop. We didn't give any more trainings, and our customers were waiting for us. I was trainers. I was training globally everybody in the company, and European Trainers Network became online, and that was my saver. So I actually went there. I believe, Bill, we were doing it 3 times per week or something like that. And after 2 weeks, I actually came back to my boss and I told him, you know what? I know how to do it online. Let's call all the trainers. I'm going to train them. Let's call all the customers. And that's how it happened. And since then, I became really involved with the European Trainers Network because I got a help from them. And now it's my turn to give back to everybody else. So every time I go to European Trainers Network, actually, I always learn. And of course, I share my knowledge and expertise to be able to leverage other people that they want to become a trainer like I was back in the old times. because we are from one another in Toastmasters.
That's wonderful. So for those of us over here on this side who have not participated in one of these sessions, from what I'm getting from what you're saying, happen on Saturday morning, and people bring their own workshops and they get feedback from other experienced trainers and Toastmasters. Am I getting this right?
Completely right. Bill, would you like to say what we do?
Well, the speakers, the trainers lab that we run on the first and third Saturdays of the month was an idea to give a friendly, safe Toastmasters space for trainers to demonstrate their training techniques and practice new things, test new material that maybe they're going to do with their clients later. And so we give evaluations to help people understand what their lesson planning, how they are applying adult learning skills, how they're handling their facilitation skills, dealing with different personalities, and keeping their training engaging and entertaining. So that's what we're doing in the Trainers Lab. But besides that, we also offer the From Speaker to Trainer program online. That's a longer program to help people really understand the basics. And then they can join the Trainers Lab and demonstrate the theory that they have. You know, you can't learn to be a trainer by reading a book. You got to get up and practice, just like as we do in the clubs when we're learning speaking skills. Training skills is sort of advanced level beyond the basic communication leadership skills that you learn in the club. But then, you know, when you get your training skills, you can also volunteer to give trainings at club officers trainings or district officers trainings. There's plenty of opportunities within Toastmasters. So now we have the Pathways extension program, where in Pathways, you are asked to deliver trainings in your clubs. So by the European Trainers Network, we're supporting all the clubs in the whole region to help the members become better at communicating as a trainer to their club members, not speaking, but facilitating learning in their members. Very different.
That's a very interesting concept. So what you're saying is anybody from Toastmasters will be able to join your network. Is that correct?
Right. We're not a club. We are a community of Toastmasters who understand and appreciate the Toastmasters concept of mentoring and having fun and having a safe learning environment where we learn from our mistakes and support each other to grow and be better communicators and trainers.
I would like to add something that Bill actually was saying. Yes, European Student Network is based to leverage people to become from a good speaker into a trainer. That's very clear, and it's open for all Toastmasters. But there is even more there. You even heard that one of the things we do is moderation, and that is a skill that everybody can bring to the real work, because we are always in meetings, moderating, and that is a skill that is added on. No, as a trainer, you need to be able to moderate, but even in your job when you have a meeting. So absolutely, you can use it for a lot of things. And it's not a club, it's not fees, it's free. We give gold for free.
Free, count me in. Now I have one more question just to clarify this, because I think I've heard something which really interests me, and I'm sure it will interest a lot of people who are listening to us, which is this. When we do things like delivering a workshop and receiving feedback at these sessions, can it also count as something that you've done on extended pathways, as you said a while ago, Bill? So is it something that we can integrate into pathways? So can we get credit, in essence, for the things that we do at this network?
It's an interesting question you have. The short answer is no, because we're not a club. So officially, it's not a location where you would get credit. On the other hand, Roberto, why are we in Toastmasters? We want to improve ourselves. And just giving a speech one time doesn't necessarily, or giving a training one time doesn't necessarily develop your skills. By practicing, rehearsing, getting feedback, evaluations from other people, building up your material and becoming better at it, and then presenting it, you're at a much better stage to be effective as a trainer, to be more service to the people you're listening to. So come to us, practice, develop your skills, and then give the training in front of a group of people. That's what I would recommend. So if you're serious about learning and growing, and you really want to have a high level of skill development, find other people who are going to support you on that process. It doesn't happen in a day. It takes time to develop your skills, but it's well worth it. We enjoy it so much when you see how much you've helped people develop their potential and overcome problems that they have and solve issues in their businesses and their companies. It's so gratifying to be a trainer. And besides that, I learn so much myself as I'm coaching other people. I don't see it as work. I just enjoy it. So
I like to add something there. Yes, even though they don't get credits, there are a lot of members that they practice their training that they're going to deliver in their club. They practice first in our platform and then they deliver it. For example, for the officers trainers, when they have to be training, some of them, they had come to us, they had practice and then deliver a much higher standard training for the officers training. Or if someone wants to try some training that want to deliver in the Toastmasters clubs, we had that as well. So even though it's not recognized, we support them, and a lot of people, they use their training as well in our platform. Okay.
I love it. I really like the idea that you guys have answered these questions, because you've shown that this is not just for ourselves from the sense of actually getting credit for it, but also as to improve ourselves. And as we usually say, and when we're training, one of the best ways to learn is for us to share and to train other people, because then we will learn a lot more. It's usually said that if we just listen, we learn just about 10%. But if we then write, we'll learn a little bit more. If we then speak about it, or if we train other people, if we teach about some subject, then we learn a lot more. So my next question is, how does anyone who is already a Toastmasters get to join this network? What do they need to do?
Well, I certainly would invite them to go to our website, europeantrainersnetwork.com, to get more information there. We also have a presence on the tmclub.eu website, so you can find our meeting schedule and register to attend our meetings or sign up for a role. Basically, if you already have experience in a Toastmasters club and you understand the roles and you understand the basic skills of leadership and communication, then you're welcome to come to us to go that extra distance and practice the skills needed to be a trainer in our trainers lab, or in our From Speaker to Trainer program, our networking sessions, or our online workshops that we invite our community to use our platform for. By the way, we're sponsored by District 59 with our Zoom Pro account, so we can really practice using all the features that Zoom Pro has with the whiteboard and the breakout rooms. You learn to practice all of these skills online, which you can then use offline as well. So we're really, I think, on the cutting edge, and using AI technology in your training, developing your materials, but also working with your students. So we're really updating the old From Speaker to Trainer program that Toastmasters has and bringing it into the new age and helping all of our Toastmaster friends come along with us. It's a fun ride.
I would like to add, of course, they can contact Bill or myself anytime. They can find us in LinkedIn, they find us in Toastmasters, so they can contact us directly if they have any questions or any doubts. Of course, we're always open. Okay.
That's wonderful. So Bill and Dorleta, thank you so much for kindly answering all these questions. I'm pretty sure that most people who are here, who are not part of this network yet, they will be soon, because there's so much value that you're bringing to them, that you're bringing also to their trainees, to everyone who participates in their own workshops. It's something that's, to be honest, it's completely laudable, a really fantastic experience and a really fantastic concept for us to share and to actually extend our experience as Toastmasters. Thank you so much. I'm over for now, and I'm really happy that I was able to interview you guys. This is an amazing thing to do.
Thanks, Norberto. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Norberto, Bill, and Dorleta. It's so clear that having a dedicated space like the ETN to improve our skills and receive the precious feedback is what moves region from good to world class.